Hey everyone, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm.
All right, I liked Tim Jordan's studio so much, I kicked them out of it. This is going to be our new home. So, yeah, it might not be the MPM podcast. We'll put up a couple pictures of the beard, and we're all set. So, are you okay with that, Tim?
Sure.
All right, very good. Okay, everybody. So today we are going to be talking to Izabela Hamilton. I'm sure a lot of you know her, and we're going to be talking about methods to help you rank with influencers. So, Kelsey, where are you, sir?
I'm in BC. How are you doing?
Good. I miss you, buddy.
I miss you too. It's been so long.
Virtual hug. Now, I just hope with that hug that you do things right today. Is that okay?
I hope so too. My job is on the line.
Okay. So obviously you're going to tell me, you're going to say, Dad, you got to do something.
Smash
and
those
I'm
like
going to say, of course, Kelsey.
Oh, the sponsor. Yes, of course. Yeah.
We want to give that big shout out, right? Right,
Yeah,
Kels? That big shout out to Global Wired Advisors, a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. So to get more information, make sure you contact Chris over at globalwiredadvisors.com. All right, Kelsey. Now what are you supposed to do?
All right, smash those like buttons.
That's
Welcome
it.
to the show, everyone. Hello, Daniel, Sajid, Melanie, Twilight Action. How is everyone doing? Yeah, I hope you enjoy the show. It's going to be a good one. I am enjoying BC. Thank you, Mel. And yeah, if you are looking for the full episodes, highlights, you can go over to our YouTube channel. That's where all the good stuff is. And if you're interested in joining the community, the Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and e-commerce collective is our Facebook group. So that's a great place to go there too. Welcome Simon and Tony as well, and Jessica Rabbit. It's going to be a good show, and yeah, excited for it.
All right, fantastic. So if you do have any questions, shoot them over to the comments section. We're going to try our best to get to them. Other than that, sit back, relax, grab your green Solo cup filled with coffee, and enjoy the show.
Hello,
Izabela Hamilton. How are you?
You guys are too cute. You're too cute. I love it. I love it. And I do love your new studio. You should definitely keep it. I don't think Tim Jordan appreciates as much as you do.
I know.
It looks pretty nice. And I love your green and blue Solo cup. Is it blue as well, or am I?
Yeah, because it's hot coffee. So yeah, you've got the blue with the like I've learned all about this, right? You have to have the insulator Solo cup to yeah. And so next time I come here, I'll be bringing my own branded, bearded Solo cup.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You're too funny. I love your relationship with Kelsey. It's so cute to see you guys like that. So
I don't. No, of course I do. Anyway, Izabela, for those of us who don't know you, can you just give us a few words about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. My name is Izabela Hamilton, and I own RankBell. We've been helping Amazon sellers for about 7 years now rank their products on Amazon, and we keep going strong. We recently started going more for Walmart as well and Etsy, but as you can tell, Amazon is still a very, very large clientele of ours. Let's put it this way.
Yeah. So you've just broken out and done some really cool stuff with seller sessions. You want to talk about that?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So seller sessions. Yes, I had the honor to be invited as a co-host for this amazing podcast. And I've been doing every Monday. It's called Mindset Monday. And I just bring very interesting people that I'm looking to see if they have any common traits and what makes them successful. What what in their mindset makes them who they are. So it's been very interesting to get these people's opinion, where, how they came up, if they came from humble beginnings or just from regular families. But in the end, to be able to put that all together and see that, there's one thing that drives them all, and it's usually persistence, or never giving up, because we all go through hurdles, we all go through different traumas in our lives, different errors that we make, but those that I see that are very successful in the end are those that never give up. So it's not that they don't have any issues throughout their life, is that they have issues and they continue regardless.
Resilient.
Yeah, it's been very, very cool to see that. Yes.
Oh, very nice. Yep. So Seller Sessions is on 1 hour before our podcast. So anyways, if you do get a chance to check it out, it's an awesome podcast. And you guys run 5 days a week. Is that correct?
4.
4 days a week. Oh, okay. You do get a holiday. All right. Yeah. So you're known. When I started it wasn't even that long ago. It was like 1.5 years, 2 years ago that we got to know each other and just hit it off. You did some great stuff for some of our products, but it was ranking. So RankBell. That's what you're into. And I've gone to conferences and I've done a lot of virtual summits that I've heard, rebates don't work. Rebates are against TOS. Rebates. I get it both sides. Why don't we talk about rebates for a while before we get into some of this other stuff? Are they working? Is it okay? Are you going to get suspended? Give us the scoop.
Well, they definitely work. So, and the word rebates in itself, it sounds scary. It sounds like something you shouldn't be doing. But rebates have been around for years and years and years. Not in Romania, where I'm from. You don't really get anything back there. But in America, it's been kind of a norm. You go to any store, and even now, I think Best Buy might still have it, where you just kind of tear those coupons off and you mail them in and you get a rebate. And sometimes you may even get a full purchase product cost as well. So when it comes to Amazon, what we realized is that using these rebates does not affect a seller at all. And so far, Amazon has not been against it. However, we don't know if in the future is not going to change. So I'm always worried with Amazon, because you never know. Things change so fast every single day. And, I do worry sometimes that maybe one day Amazon is going to say, we are no longer allowing to do this. But so far they haven't said so. And I think it's because Amazon knows it's a very competitive marketplace. So if you come in with a product today that's, not necessarily unique, I mean, very rarely do you see unique products anymore. Amazon knows that you need some type of help to be able to even make it on the first few pages. So, and I think that is why rebates are still allowed right now. As I said, we haven't had a single issue by doing these rebates, and we do hundreds and thousands of them every single day.
Okay, great. Well, one of the things about your rebates, and I think this is very important for people to know, you can go out to Facebook and you can go into these Facebook groups that just offer rebates and some, in return for reviews and all this other crap. But you've got that group. You've got apps that provide it at a very low cost. Where you're situated, and I want to make this clear, I call you more of a concierge rebate. You're going to pay for your service. You're not cheap, but the quality, the buyer quality score probably is much higher going through your service. And I'm not I don't have a code with you or anything, right? So I know just by the way that I've worked with you, and I've done thousands and thousands and thousands of rebates. So I've seen where I have 100 units that I send out using a certain app, and I get no results. I send out 50 with you, and I should have said like 250 and 100 with you. and I see 10 times better results because of the buyer, I think, because of the buyer quality score. And when you're going out there, I mean, you're not just going to the same group over and over and over again. You are working with client to get the best results possible. So that's why I call it a concierge style rebate. And you have to be willing to pay for it. Just like if you're going to be doing a PPC campaign, you have to do certain things. If you're going to be driving external traffic from different social media platforms, you have to be expected to pay. It's not cheap to launch, but you get results. And like I talked to a guy at Prosper that you did his launch for. He spent 6 figures, but ongoing, he's getting ongoing ranking and optimization. And here's one other thing. I know I'm going on a rant. I shouldn't even been talking. This should be you. But yeah, I'll just sit back and.
You are. I'm just letting you do the job for me. No, I love it. And I if you want, I'll let you finish. If not, I'll jump in. No,
I'll have one other thing to say, and you got to let me finish because I'm old. Okay, I've got very you know me. I've got short-term memory, and I'll forget. But anyways. And I'll forget to insult Kelsey too. So I don't want to do that. But the other thing is there's a misconception out there for a lot of new sellers. I'm going to spend $3,000 or $5,000 on a product launch. I'm going to use whatever rebate campaign. And then they don't do anything with it. So they've got it out. You can see that the keywords are indexed. You can see that there's movement. You got sales momentum and things are happening. And nothing happens. They sit there on their butts for 3 weeks, 2 months, and well, that didn't work. You know, oh, I see somebody.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, hug mommy. Okay. Who's that? Is that Santa Claus? Remember him?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go. That was funny. Yeah, oh my gosh. Came on and said,
Christmas hat.
You'll have to wear a Christmas hat next time, Norm.
I definitely will. It's either that or my Travelocity gnome hat. One of those two.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I had no idea he was going to jump in here. So,
But that's beautiful. That's awesome.
thank you.
So what I was saying was you have to maintain. So even if you're doing 100 units or 200 units and you're spending that money, if you see that your ranking is starting to fall, well, for me, I'll use like a press release and a couple of rebates to bring it up. A couple, not another whole main campaign again, but it's so important to do that. So now I'm going to stop and I'm going to sit back and you're my guest. Go ahead.
Thank you. Everything that you said is so true. And I love that you bring that up. So I see this happen a lot more often than I would like. A brand new seller comes in and they spend, all this money getting the inventory. They spend a lot of money on doing the pictures, the listing. Really, they want to succeed, right? And then they post their product on Amazon and then they don't do anything else. They think just because the product is good or the listing is good, that somehow it should just take off. And they don't calculate the cost that it would take them to launch. So without that launch period, without having to go through that, it's very hard to become successful on Amazon. I mean, it's just as dry cut as that. It's especially in today's world, like there's just so much competition. This maybe would have worked, 6, 7, 8 years ago, where you just put your product up and it will start taking off. Unfortunately, it no longer works like that. But at the same time, it's good because that means you can become a bestseller because not everybody else is doing what you're doing. So if you already bought your product and it's amazing and the listing is good, everything is good, make sure you have a budget for this launch and PPC as well. Because a lot of people will come to me and they say, you know what, the organic ranking, it works so well, and it does. Should we stop PPC? And I never want them to stop PPC because that's another thing. That's literally another thing, because they'll say, well, now I'm on page 1, but what you want to do is you want to own the real estate. my thing is try to cover as much real estate as you possibly can. And the higher you rank every single day, the lower your PPC cost will be as well. But to succeed on Amazon, you must do both of these things all the time. And you may not have to do the organic ranking for too long. You might only need like 50 units, like you said. And that's actually cheap. If you think about it, Norm, when in the history of ever has it been so cheap to be on page one of Amazon? You can literally be on page one, position one, maybe $1,000, $2,000, maybe $3,000 if it's like a super competitive product. Yeah, sometimes you have to keep coming back. Maybe you fell a few positions, but if you think about it, it's very cheap. It's very cheap to have that real estate.
So here's the other thing that people, when they look at, I'm going to do it, I'm a simple guy, so I'm going to use very simple numbers. But let's say you have a $10 item, okay, and forget the rate. So if your rate is $8, which it isn't, I just can't configure, it's
right.
too complicated. So $1, we're going to do 100 units. The 100 units means you do have your fees of $100. You're doing it with the products now. They're $10 products. So now you're going to be going out and you're going to be doing these $1,000 products. People don't realize, like when we're doing their campaigns for them, we're saying, okay, your rebate cost is going to be $1,100. They go, I can't spend that. I can't spend that. They have heart attacks, defibrillator, bring them out. But they get it all back. Like, not only do they get like your cost, okay, that's the cost of doing business. Amazon is paying them $700 back within the next 2 weeks. The real cost of this is minor. It's $300 for the most part, if if it's 70%, right? But so Amazon is paying you back because these are verified sales. It's not the full $1,000. So this is something I never get. What's the big deal? You're doing that, and at the end of the day, you talk. Okay, I'm not an accountant, but at the end of the day, talk to your accountant and write it off. It's a marketing expense. Now you got a full marketing, you should be able to write it all off. I don't know. I'm Canadian. I don't know that much about US tax, but in Canada you can. I think if Ron is listening, tune in.
You definitely Canada 100%. And here as well, like I have, most of my clients, they just write it all off. So if you think about it, you are doing free marketing for your brand.
Free, you're getting paid by Amazon.
That is true.
So you get your whole expense back because it's a marketing expense.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Amazon's paying you $700. Like, what am I not seeing in this picture?
Yeah.
No. Anyways, that's just me. I don't know.
Sense. You make too much sense, Nor. But a lot of people, they just think right now, like, oh, I have to spend this money, and even though at the end of the year they pay so much in taxes, if they can configure beginning of the year, okay, this is what my projected earnings will be. This is how much I have to invest into marketing, and in the end of the year, you might not have to pay any taxes at all because use that for your marketing expense, and now you're a bestseller on Amazon. Like there's no way to go wrong with this. Definitely.
Right. So anyways, I just wanted to touch on it. I wanted to get some insight because I know that's where a good chunk of your business still is today.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to touch on, first of all, there's a giveaway. What is your giveaway today?
We will do a free consultation for you. What we realized, it's a lot of the sellers that they'll come in and they don't really know what keywords to rank for. So we decided to help some sellers out by giving them a consultation, going over their product, going over their competitors, see what keywords they could use some help on. And also for those who are watching today, we will also do a 10% off the first campaign with us. So we would love to help you guys out.
All right, very good. So if you'd like to take Izabela up on that offer, it's #Wheel of Kelsey. Some of you are already hashtagging Wheel of Kelsey. And if you want an extra ballot, just throw in there or tag 2 people. And Kelsey, that's it for today, right?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
The 10%, is it for everyone on that website?
Everyone wants to pay.
Okay, great.
Very generous. Just have them mention Norm or Kelsey or Lunch with Norm, whichever, or Wheel of Kelsey, whichever you guys want.
Well, usually if you mention Kelsey, then it would only be 5%. If you mention Lunch with Norm, it's 10%. So
Oh my God, you guys crack me up. I love it.
all right, let's talk a bit about influencers.
Yeah, let's do it.
Topic of the day. All right, bringing influencers into your launch.
Mm-hmm.
How do you even start? What do you do?
Oh my God, where do I even start? Thank you, Sharon. So what we realized, and so in the beginning, about 7-8 years ago when I started this, we've only had a handful of people that we were working with. So we would go to these people and say, hey, would you like to try a product? We have this brand, pretty much what sellers do these days. We have this amazing brand. We have this product. We think it would be a good fit. So we just started with a handful of people, but then essentially we realized that for us to grow and really become an influencer agency, we cannot do it with a handful of people. So we have different ways of growing our community. But one of the best ways that I found out is that using these influencers to attract more influencers. So now that's all we use. Because you mentioned, Norm, you said, our buyer's quality is way higher. And it is because of this, because we use these micro influencers and we have thousands and thousands of them. So they're not product testers, but they are micro influencers. And it's not a big difference, but it's enough difference that it makes their quality score higher, because product testers are people that just go onto Amazon and they would just buy any single product at all times because they just want the product free. Now, when it comes to influencers, it's different because they take this as their job. This is something serious now. It's not just, they're not looking for just a free product per se, but they're looking for that status, if that makes sense. They want to be known as an influencer. So they'll get the product, they'll post a story, they'll post on a feed, and they take it very seriously. I mean, to be an influencer today, it's seen as a pretty high status in the social media world. So we realized that by switching from just like regular product testers to influencers, one, we give these influencers purpose, and two, our ranking strategies are much, much higher than they were when we just use product testers. And we've been able to increase that and just use the influencers to rank products. And I don't think I would ever go back. I mean, micro influencers are where it's at right now.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely the buzzword right now. The types of influencers that you would get involved with. So, we have nano and micro and all those others. Are there specific types that you work with, or are they different to each one of the clients that come in and start working with you?
So we definitely like using micro influencers. And when I say micro, I mean, everybody has a different idea of what micro is. But when I say micro, I say between 1,000 followers to maybe 5,000, 10,000 followers, something like that. So they haven't made it so big that they wouldn't just care about a free product, but also they're not small enough to not matter. So what happens is, and now you're also getting sales from these influencers because they are posting it on their feed, on their stories, and because the followers are not that many, usually are real. Because sometimes when you go into like 50, 100,000, 200,000 followers, you're not really sure if those followers are actually real.
Right.
But because if you have somebody that has like 1,000 followers, you know that those are real. You know what I mean? So those are people that actually follow that person. So if you are buying some paper plates or whatever, and you're posting about it, then maybe some of your friends that are seeing it are going to buy as well. So we realize that it's helping us in so many more ways than just ranking. So you were asking, how do I get them, or what
No,
was?
are there different? Would you set up different influencers depending on the client? So if somebody's in the pet niche and they're very small, let's say bully sticks, very competitive compared to something very unique in the pet industry. Would you go to somebody that is an influencer in the pet industry? However, one might be with nano influencers, one might go to mega influencers, one might go to a celebrity influencer. Do you kind of select who your client is, or is it just, I'm going after micro and nano influencers and they have the best followers for what I do?
Yeah. So usually we would just go for micro influencers, but if there's a seller that really wants us to focus on just those who are looking for the pet product, then we would go out of our way to make that happen for them. We don't have that request too often, believe it or not. I know you would think it's counterintuitive, but our influencers are just so good at what they do that it doesn't come up a lot where somebody says, we just want this kind of people to buy our products. And if we do go into that, then we might have to charge a little more, because the influencers in those
Oh, for
niches
sure.
cost a lot. So when it comes to just ranking, most people just prefer, they'll just say, I just want to do it micro influencers. It's $15 per unit. It's really not that much. I don't think it costs that much. But when you go into those bigger influencers that are just specifically onto like the pet niche, where they have like 100,000 or 500,000 or a million followers, then they want something more than just the product free. They want a substantial amount to post about it.
Right. And, one of the things that a lot of people forget is when you're working with an influencer, you can get them to create your blog post. You can actually, some allow you to write your blog post and send it out, but others will write the blog post, send it out to their community of 5 or 10,000 people. They see what they're doing, or and I've seen this a lot, where the influencer will provide contests to get more people interested in your product, and it can go crazy. Like using influencers, you'll get images, videos, or blog content for the most part, and then virally you can use an influencer. And I mean, check out this app called King Sumo. King Sumo is a simple app that any brand can use to develop sort of viral content, and that's an app that probably a lot of influencers would use. But it is such, I don't know, it's such a great marketing tool. 3 or 4 years ago, would you have, I mean, who would be talking about influencers?
Right.
At least in the Amazon space. So it's perfect timing.
Right.
I don't know if you want to get into other methods that you use with influencers. Do you want to touch on that for a second?
I mean, as I said, just using influencers, period, it's amazing. And if you're able to do that yourself, without having to use RankBell, you're definitely welcome to. I always encourage sellers, if possible, to create their own communities, because in the end, it's going to work out better for them. So, of course, I always want clients to use us, but at the same time, I understand the importance of creating your own community for your own brands. Not only will help you rank your future products, but also when it comes to selling your brand, it will be much easier, and you'll probably get a much higher multiple if you also had a community of like 100,000, followers that are following your brand. So that you always want to make sure that you are working towards building that yourself. And as I said, services like mine exist, and thank God for them, but try not to use them as a crutch. Try to build your own communities if possible, and it will help you, again, not only for ranking, but also for when you want to sell your brand in the future.
Right. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that an influencer, well, your customers, your repeat customers could probably become an incredible influencer for you because they already love your product. And if you have the capability, if you've driven them over to your website, that's one way to just reach out to them and ask them if they want to become an influencer. But one step further is if they have a lot of passion about your product and they want your I was going to say my bully sticks, but if you want my bully sticks, contact me. But you got brand ambassadors then. And brand ambassadors are just a special kind of influencer that will that live and die by your brand. And now I'm curious with the service that you have, do you build those brand ambassadors? Do you go out there, you find the influencer with a person, but if a person wants to get involved with the client, are you the liaison between the two?
I haven't done that, but it's not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
It's actually, it sounds like a good idea. I mean, it's a lot of work. Let's put it this way. It's a lot of work. But who knows? Maybe in the future, that's something that we can add. Again, I can see the benefits of having something like that.
Talk to me.
Yeah, having are like rooting for your brand. Absolutely, I think it's a good idea. Yeah, we can definitely talk about it another time for sure.
All right. What about misconceptions? What are people doing right, wrong, and just basically ugly?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of things people do wrong, and if you are to study this, it's so simple. If it comes down to just following the algorithm, we are so blessed to have tools like Helium 10. We have the CPR. It's pretty much black on white. Hey, for you to launch and rank your bully sticks, it takes 10 a day for 8 days, and you will be on page 1, position 1. And it's just as simple as that. And most people don't like things that are simple. They will try to do so many other things in between. And, if the CPR says 10 a day, they'll say, you know what, let me just do 2 a day. And then, they always try to trick the algorithm somehow. But we have this amazing tool that tells you exactly what you need to do. Like, all you have to do is follow it.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised how many people don't. Another thing is you want to make sure that you use the search, find, buy. And I know we talk seriously. If possible, do not use any super URLs. Make sure that you use the organic function, the search, find, buy. This is what will rank you. This is why, a lot of rebate sites are not the greatest, because they don't train these buyers to follow these function, which is searching for bully sticks, finding it, and buying it. And it's a simple process, but if it's not followed through exactly, the results are not going to be as good. So if you click on a link, I'm not saying it will not rank. I mean, maybe we haven't done a super URL in years, so I don't know. I don't know exactly how well that works. I just know, one, you don't want to do anything that's trackable by Amazon when it comes to that. You don't want to give them any kind of reason to come after you. And 2, to be able to rank, you want to make sure that you use this function. So people don't do it enough. Again, they try different things. They try, some different rebate sites because they're cheaper. And then, they end up coming to us after they spend, maybe hundreds or thousands of dollars, and they're nowhere. And then they'll come to us as a last resort when they could have just done that right from the beginning without having to go through all of these mistakes. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, these are just the primary that I see happen all the time.
Kelsey, mute me for a sec. Mute button. I'm sorry, guys. I still have that cigar hack from Vegas. Izabela.
By the way, Vegas was so much fun. It came and left way too fast. I don't know where 1 week has gone.
I know, it was crazy,
Yeah,
but it was a lot of fun, and I'm still paying the price with this bloody hack.
of course, yes, of course.
But okay, so right now I know you're limited on time today. Did you want to touch a little bit on mindset, or Kelsey? Do we have some questions?
Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Do we want to do mindset, or we can answer questions? It's up to you.
Whichever one you want. I'm good. Either way.
All right. What do you think, Norm?
I'm just trying to hit my mute button because I'm going to cough again. Kelsey,
Okay,
hit
sure.
me.
Teamwork.
All right, now I'm back. Let's go to questions here because I think I don't want to mix them up.
Okay. All right. From Gerard, in addition to budgeting for PPC, how much and in what way do we budget for influencer marketing?
Well, so as I said, for we have these amazing tools at our fingertips, and Helium 10 is one that I use a lot. Most of my clients use Helium 10, and for the CPR, you're able to just go in and type in your keyword and see exactly how many units you need to do. So if you know that you need to, even if let's say you don't have Helium 10, just think probably anywhere between 50 to 100 units will probably suffice, unless you have a product like a supplement where it usually will take you a lot more to rank. But I noticed for just regular products, you can probably rank, sometimes even below 50 units. But I would say, just to be safe, think of it as like 100 units. So if you think, 100 units, our fees $15, so $1,500 to rank your product on page 1, that's pretty cheap. I think that's pretty cheap.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, great. From Fatia, if we want our product to be shown as customer also bought, what would we have to have both items both in one purchase?
Correct.
Oh, frequently. Yeah.
This is true. This is you're manipulating the situation a little bit, but yes, that is what people would do.
Okay, also from Fatia, is it best to wait for a certain period of time after launch before starting FB?
I don't know why you would want to wait. Unless there's a reason that you need to wait. But other than that, I think you should start. You should start right away.
Okay, Jessica, do you work with Amazon startups who launch 1,000 to 2,500 products to start? Do I need a website up and running for rebate or influencer activities to work?
So yeah, we work with all kinds of brands, and we do a lot of launches, thousands and thousands of them. Do I need a website up and running for rebate or influencer activities to work? I'm not really sure what she is asking. Norm, can you maybe help me with this?
I don't think so. If I'm understanding this correctly, you might be thinking about the brand ambassador side. Like, I know I've had Paul Barron on, and he drives traffic as an influencer. Once they want to become a brand ambassador, he drives them over to a landing page. It tells them you have to buy so much product, you get this much discount. But that's not what we're talking about here, Rosalind. It's this is strictly rebates. What'll end up happening, like if you're using Izabela, you'll go in, you give your information to Izabela. She goes into a network. She finds you real customers, not so much in a network, but she'll go out and find real search, find, buy customers that are not tied into a network. So you don't need to get a website.
Correct.
Okay, and from Simon, rebates are contentious and cause a lot of debate right now. If they're so good and not gray hat and no brainer, why isn't everyone doing them at launch?
Money.
I can tell you, I get 100% conversion rate because all my clients use them. So, but I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't. Some because they don't know a service like mine exists. Two, like Norm said, maybe 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 they haven't planned it correctly and they don't have any more money. But as I said, all our clients use this, so I'm sure there's some that maybe they don't know this exists.
Yeah, I know for a fact that many top sellers use rebates along with it. It's blitz marketing. So you've got PPC, you've got your content marketing, you've got this happening, you've got posts, you've got live, you've got all this stuff happening during a product launch. It's a product blitz. And yes, 100%, Simon, that this is probably one of the more debated aspects. If Chris McCabe was on here, if Chris and Izabela were talking, I'd like to get you two on. But anyways, it would be one side versus the other. Chris says 100% don't do it. Izabela and others that are doing rebates are saying, hey, look, this is what the terms of service say. It's everything that we do in this world for Amazon. Everything that we do as sellers, it has some form of manipulation. Is it not manipulation to put a PPC campaign targeting a certain keyword? Isn't that review or listing manipulation?
I would think so.
So you can go down that rabbit hole, but I know, like again, it's risk evaluation. If you're interested in it, great. If you're not interested in it, this is one of those podcasts you just shuffle off to the side. But I find it intriguing, but I also know that I can use influencers, and that's manipulation right now. I don't know if you saw this, but the referral program that Amazon just brought out this week, is that not manipulation? Driving external traffic and getting paid by Amazon 10%?
Yep.
I don't know. So you have to read between their lines. And if you read it's vague to start off with, but if you read that vague clause, then this is absolutely, gray hat.
Yeah.
Would I call it black hat? Nah, no. But let's go the scale of beige to gray in there.
Okay, and the last one is from Jessica Rabbit, just to clarify. Yes, Norm, so the whole process is on Amazon, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, all right. Well, that's it for questions. So
Okay.
we can head on over to the wheel.
Well, yes. So, nope, I think that's it. Before we head over to the wheel, Izabela, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. I'm pretty much on Facebook a lot, Izabela Hamilton, or you can go to RankBell.com. My email, isabella.hamilton@gmail. I can give you the RankBell one too, but I would just be overwhelming people. But just shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm always there, and if people can find me, they can find you, Norm, and you can direct them to me.
Absolutely. Okay, very good. All right. So, Izabela, you've never seen the Wheel of Kelsey.
I have not.
Oh my gosh. It's been a long time since you've been on.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I think, I was right. One of the first ones, I think.
You were.
I think you were the first guest, actually, on our show.
Really?
So, I think so, yeah.
Wow.
You guys love me that much. I appreciate
it. We absolutely do.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
That's great.
Thank you, everyone who has participated for this. Wheel of Kelsey, I think I got everyone's name, just double checking, see if there's any late entries. But here we go. So let's just shuffle these up. This is for the consultation with Izabela. And 3, 2, 1.
Who got it? Nicholas. Congrats, Nicholas.
All right. So, Nicholas, if you can just email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com, and I'll connect you with Izabela, and we can get you that prize.
Excuse me.
All right.
Oh, all right. So just send over to k@lunchwithnorm.com, and yeah, you'll get all that information. Izabela, thank you.
No, thank you. You guys are family to me, so it feels like home here.
And when I get down and to see you again, we're going to have another cigar together.
You know,
Yes.
it's only natural. It's only normal that we do that.
Well, we'll have to start producing the RankBell cigar label.
That would not be a terrible idea, and I hope Kelsey can join us too.
Absolutely.
But he
I'd
can
love
have a Popeye cigar,
Yeah.
like Popeye cigarettes. Yeah, he's not old enough to smoke yet. So, yeah.
Right. Yes,
All right, Izabela. Well, thank you for coming on.
of course.
I really appreciate it. I know you've got a ton. You're really busy just coming back from Prosper. So we will see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything today. And for all your participants, this is a great, great podcast. So thank you. Keep doing an amazing job.
Thank you. All right. We'll
Thank you,
see you
Izabela.
soon. All right. So that's it for today. I hope you like that. We're going to have Izabela on another time talking about mindset. But I thought, we've heard a lot recently about rebates, and we just started talking before the podcast about maybe we should touch on that, and then we'll build on the influencers. So we went down that rabbit hole, and I thought that was good. I thought it was good for everybody to hear another opinion on that. So next time, Izabela will get you back for mindset, and she does an awesome job with that over at Seller Sessions. So before I forget, Friday, is Ali coming on as well, or is it just Sumner?
Just Sumner, I believe.
All right. So Sumner Hobart is going to be coming back, and we're going to be talking about Google Ads and Pinterest. So think about this. Have you been using, especially if you're targeting women, if you haven't been targeting women and you are not targeting, if you're not using Pinterest ads, you're missing out. Very inexpensive. The biggest dollar order value of all of the social media platforms is through Pinterest. So Sumner's going to be talking to us about that, as well as Google Ads. And also he's been a guest before, and he's had one of the most highly downloaded podcasts. So I'm going to enjoy talking with him again. Before we get into it, because I know Kelsey just doesn't, I don't know, maybe he's just liking Vancouver a little bit too much. He's just not reminding me about this. But prior to that, I should have said, and this episode, I just wanted to give a big shout out to the person sponsoring our episode, .club. I can tell you a little bit about .club, but all I have to say is it's a community. It's a top level TLD. It's the fastest selling TLD, and you can get them anywhere. You can go to GoDaddy, or you can go to Namecheap, and they're very inexpensive. Like I'm buying some .clubs right now at about $1 and change. Next year I have to pay a higher price, but I love them. I like .clubs. Anybody listening to me knows that I've been preaching .clubs since 2017, and I own a bunch of them because I can build a community around them. So check them out. Now that I've done Kelsey's job, Kelsey,
Is that my job?
it is your job. It says, Kelsey, to remind Dad. I'm your dad, right? The guy with the beard?
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. But just saying.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, everyone who tuned in for today's episode. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And if you are interested, please join our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA, and eCommerce Collective. Here, right here. So you just write the ticker that's going across. That's our Facebook group. Join there. That's where our community is. That's where all the action happens. If you want to post any questions that you have about the shows, talk to the guests, talk to me and Norm, you can put them up. We also do and beard memes, whatever fancies the Beard Nation over there. Also, if you missed today's episode, don't forget you can check it out on the Lunch with Norm YouTube channel. So that's just Norman Farrar, and if you search Lunch with Norm, you'll be able to find all of our episodes. I think we're at 170.
Yeah, it's crazy.
169. Yeah. So
Kelsey, I'm
Yes.
going to interrupt. Like usually, you interrupt me, so
Mhm.
I'm just interrupting you for a sec. Izabela, do you like? I have this other podcast called "I Know This Guy," and it's about interesting people. Izabela led me down the line to one of the craziest guests I've ever had on the podcast. I talked to her about it last week. She didn't even know, and it's Donnie Brasco. So the guy, like the FBI informant who brought down like the mob in New York. And anyways, his name is Joe Pistone. Him and Leo Rossi were on I Know This Guy a couple months ago. And I love this podcast. Like I really do love that podcast with those two. So look, I don't normally talk about the other podcast, but check it out. It went from Izabela to some really incredible people, and they've introduced me to the real Donnie Brasco. And they've got a great podcast as well. And I know I'm taking up your time, guys, but this is pretty cool. I love it. And just being able to talk to to Joe Pistone and Leo was just incredible. So check that out. That's also on Apple. Now, bringing Kelsey back in, join us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of our community. I mean, we really couldn't have this podcast without everyone watching. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Lunch with Norm.